welcome back to my channel. It's me, an average reader. I know I've been gone a while again. I know this keeps happening. So I thought I'd have a little catch up with you, explain where I've been, why the absence, and just answer a question that I've got a couple of times now on some of my older videos. Have I quit YouTube? The answer is no. So if that's the whole reason you tuned into this video, then you can go now. Really, YouTube wasn't ever something I thought I'd actually properly start doing. I've said in a couple of videos, I wanted to make a video and put it out there just because I've never done it before. And I used to watch other booktubers and think, oh, I'd love to have a go at doing that. I did have a go at doing it. And by some crazy stroke of luck, the video that I shared got a lot of traction. And then from there, I've hit over 1,500 subscribers, which I wasn't expecting. Honestly, I genuinely, because I've made music in the past, and that experience taught me how hard it is to get people to look at your stuff, and if you don't already have a name. So in my mind, it was like, if I can get to Christmas with like 50 subscribers, then I've made it. So to have just hit 1,500, I think it was last week or the week before, amazing. Like, I just cannot even thank you enough for the people that have subscribed and keep coming back to look for new videos. Now, I'm not trying to be some disinterested booktuber. I literally enjoy making these videos, but it's finding the time to make them at the moment. So for those of you who don't know, I qualified as a nurse in September. So I've been working pretty heavily with my patients. So it's hard to find the time to do vlogs about reading and stuff, but I am going to try in the new year to be better at it, even if I'm doing sort of more rough cuts and probably less edited thumbnails, because what I need to do is cut off some of the time it takes. Whilst I've been away, I have been reading still. I read on my commute. I have to read before bed using the old Kindle with a warm light. So reading is very much a part of my life. And as I've said before, I am an average reader. So if you come here looking for someone who's going to say, how to read 12 books in 1 hour, like, that's not me. It will never be me. I don't think those people even exist. I think a lot of that stuff is just made up to make some of us feel inadequate. That's a whole other topic. Again, thank you so much for 1,500 subscribers. It's amazing to me, like really amazing. I should have done something to celebrate, but I didn't really think, I don't actually check the views that much. I don't go on the app checking everything, all the stats. I probably should, but I don't. So then when I checked it a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh wow, 1,500 subscribers. That's really cool. So next up 2,000. For that, I will try and actually celebrate it. Maybe I could do a Q&A if that's something people are interested in. I have had requests for that before. It's just really hard to get people to send questions in. I don't want to make the questions myself. There's no fun in that. And as I said, I started it really is just sort of like, could I make a video and would anyone watch it? So to get this far down the road, I think I've had over 275,000 views, which is like, what? And yeah, it's just not something you really think about. It gets too crazy to even compute. So that's where the subscribers feels more like a contained number. So like 1,500, that's amazing. What I love about Booktube is less so when I do a tech video, so some of you might notice the comments are very slim versus the ratio of views on the tech videos, because I had to moderate them because people get really passionate about tech. It's wild to me how people get so passionate. I get all sorts of abuse if I say that I don't like something that other people do like. So because of that, I put the moderation on high, but then realized for my own mental well-being, I don't want to go through a load of comments deciding, is this so offensive that I shouldn't put it on there? Or is it just a little bit offensive? Maybe I can put it on there. I'm just not about that negative comment thing. I have never done it. I'll leave comments on things I like. And that's not to say you can't say like, oh, I disagree. I think the Kobo blah, blah, blah is that's fine. But when you're like, you're beep, 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 I'm not going to swear. What? Like some of these people, you'd think they were earning money from these things. And I don't think they are. So what are you getting out of it? Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going off on a tangent here. So anyway, I prefer doing the Booktube videos. I like engaging with people on there, what they've been reading, what they've been up to. I love that. So keep that coming. Like if you're watching this and you think, oh, I might leave a comment, or maybe I won't, please do. And I'm going to try a lot more to engage with those comments. The frustration is that all on the same page, I get all of the tech comments and all of the Booktube comments. And the tech comments just come in and in and in, which is obviously a pretty cool position to be in. but I just can't even keep up with them all. And sometimes there's people asking for really specific advice about buying things. I was never ever supposed to be a tech tuber. Like, I just wanted to talk about books and the things I used to read books. So yeah, let's keep the conversation about books flowing. That's what I love to be here for. And with that in mind, as I move my tiny microphone to the other hand and pray that it doesn't sound terrible, also disclaimer, the reason I'm holding this today is because when I clip it on here, it seems to brush on the clothes and just sound terrible. So I'm hoping this will be an improvement. If it isn't, then maybe I need a new microphone. So what have I been reading recently? So the most recent book that I finished was Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst. So for those of you that don't know, Alan Hollinghurst is a prolific queer writer. He's done lots and lots of different books, from like The Line of Beauty to The Swimming Pool Library, often featuring themes of being gay and living in the 80s, and class and privilege and like intricate dynamics of our society are very much woven into these books. So this one is his most recent one. So it follows a mixed-race young man called Dave Wynn, and he is from a poorer background, and he's sponsored by a family, and that leaves him feeling sort of indebted to them for most of his life. He's got a keen interest in the arts, but he's also quite academically gifted. And I don't want to give too much away, but it just follows his life, really. It follows his life story, and it's a really beautiful read. And for me, there's a lot that I could relate to because of the fact that I'm mixed race and I'm gay and I came from a poorer background. And you often sort of carrying this weight of expectation or lack of expectation, really. And that's heavily dealt with in this book, and also him dealing with his own shame and things like that. So if that sounds like the sort of thing you'd enjoy, I would definitely read it. It's also set in the UK, which I like because it's always easier for me to imagine those places when I've been to them. I do love the cover as well. It's stunning. I talked about that in another video. I'd actually have that as a big print on the wall. I've just started here, you can see on my Kindle, Under the Mistletoe with You by Lizzie Huxley-Jones. This is basically a cheesy Christmas story, is the way that I would sum it up. And that's no disrespect to the author. It's literally what it says on the tin. That's what I wanted. I wanted to read a cheesy Christmas story. Started reading it. Might be a little too cheesy for me, but that's just personal taste. I don't know. I seem to gravitate towards like gay love stories where it's like quite bleak and heartbreaking, which I know is so weird. But the basic story of this book is a guy, again set in the UK. So he's living in Wales. He's going to go visit his family for Christmas and sublet his apartment to what he doesn't realize is an American actor who's in a lot of his favorite Christmas movies. Then the expected happens. There's a storm. He gets trapped in the town that he lives in. Airbnb guest still comes. They stay together, have to live together whilst they're trapped in this village. From what I gather, romance ensues. So yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's a Christmas book. It's Christmassy. It's got little jokes and stuff in it. I'm sure it won't take me long to get through. I just wanted to read something to get me in the spirit, because I finish work on Friday and I have 2 weeks off for Christmas. So then I'm going up to my hometown. So I'm traveling from London back up north, and I'm going to spend a week there. So it felt on brand, and it feels like the sort of thing that can ease me into that Christmas period. But yeah, because I've not finished it, that's all I can really say about it. But I will also talk about another book that I finished a couple of weeks ago, actually, just before I started this one. So I often read a physical book and then a Kindle book so that I can jump between. And then also I like to read at bedtime, so Kindle's easier at bedtime. The book that I finished and absolutely blasted through in a mere 5 days is called The Darkness Outside Us by Eliot Schrefer. And I devoured it. I absolutely devoured it. It was so gripping. The Darkness Outside Us is one of those books that is filled with so much excitement and twists and turns that I don't want to explain it to you because I'm scared I will ruin it. So what I will do is read the blurb from the Kindle store. So it is a YA novel. I normally don't read YA, probably because I'm a bit snobbish towards it. And then I read this and now I'm like, oh my God, I have been missing out. So I need to get back on and back on that list of YA books that people have been recommending to me and actually get over myself and read them. Two boys alone in space, sworn enemies sent to the same rescue mission. Ambrose wakes up on a coordinated endeavor with no memory of a launch. There's more that doesn't add up. Evidence indicates strangers have been on board. The ship's operating system is voiced by his mother, and his handsome, brooding shipmate has barricaded himself away. But nothing will stop Ambrose from making his mission succeed, not when he's rescuing his own sister. In order to survive the ship's secrets, Ambrose and Kodiak will need to work together and learn to trust each other, especially once they discover what they are truly up against. Love might be the only way to survive. I wasn't sure what I was expecting with this book, and I'll be honest, when you get these cross-genre books, more often than not, it feels a bit iffy, like it's trying to be something and it isn't that. You'll read like a Kindle Unlimited sci-fi book and it just feels too janky and it doesn't feel sci-fi enough. It feels more like cordial that's been overwatered and it's a bit bland. This was so many genres and did them so well that, yeah, I blasted through it. And then the beautiful thing I found out, not until the end of the book, is there is a sequel and it is out. And so I have the sequel and I will be reading it when I finish this Christmas story, because I think I'll finish this Christmas story just after Christmas so I can jump back into this sci-fi world. If you haven't read it already and you're into sci-fi, then absolutely give it a whirl. I notice here that I've actually just talked about 3 books and they're all queer. That's not intentional. That's just what I'm reading at the moment. If you're someone who won't read a book if it's got queer love in it, then you are missing out big time, because Our Evenings and The Darkness Outside Us are incredible books aside of having queer characters or any of that stuff. Like, they are just incredibly written books. So I would absolutely give them a whirl. That's enough about what I've been reading. I'd love to know what you guys have been reading. Based on what I've just said about those books, if any other books spring to mind that you think, oh, you'd probably like that one, then by all means, leave it in the comments. So the holiday season is very challenging for people. And I can appreciate that a little more than others, I think, because of the job that I do. So I am a mental health nurse. So a lot of my patients struggle around this time of year. So a lot of my lead up to Christmas has been safety planning and contingency planning with my patients. I just sort of want to acknowledge the people out there who might be struggling right now as you're watching this and thinking, oh, not more Christmas talk, and all these people just like, oh, Christmas, Christmas. Like, see you. I know this is such a hard time of year. It hasn't always been wonder and perfection for me either. I've had some really difficult ones. Last year was the first one without my nan, and on top of that, I'd had surgery, so I was having packing every other day. Even on Christmas Day, I was still having wound dressings and stuff. Like, I had like a literal hole in my stomach. So, and then there's been other Christmases where I've been in hospital. I've just noticed how much my incense is sort of puffing in front of the camera. I'm so worried that I'm going to come to edit this video and you won't actually be able to see me. So if it is very grainy, that's why, but I can't bother to do it again. Looking forward, channel plans for the new year is going to be hopefully more uploads. Having to do all this setup and everything is what's making it a little harder to film them. So I'll probably lean more into like reading vlogs and Q&As and things like that. Things that are less, you know, production value. Not that this is like Phantom of the Opera, but it's a lot. Although this isn't, I didn't put this up just for the video. This is here like for everyone, not just for my video. But, you know, I will be doing a Christmas video. I'll probably film in my hotel room, because I'll be staying in that trusty hotel again when I go back to my hometown. I'd like to do a Q&A. I want it to come out possibly on Boxing Day, so that's a short time frame. If you do have any questions you'd like to ask, by all means leave them in the comments. I will also provide a link in the comments where you can send questions that you don't want other people to see. Although, if you are feeling like you don't want other people to see them, maybe ask if it's appropriate. And that's going to be to celebrate 1,500 subscribers, which is actually plus now because we've gone over that. So yeah, you can submit any questions you've got about books, mental health, my journey in terms of like Crohn's disease or anything like that, training to be a nurse, my personal life, just anything you're curious about really. The more questions, the better. The more unique and interesting, the better, because it will make me definitely come back and do the video. But until then, I appreciate every viewer. Even if a video gets 10 views, it's still 10 amazing views to me. I hope you have a great holiday season, whatever it is you're doing. And if you're not into it at all, then I hope you can find some peace with whatever you are interested in. You know, find another avenue to get you through the next couple of weeks, back into those warmer months. Yeah, thank you again for subscribing. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, help the algorithm find me. And thank you all very much. And I will see you soon.